Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You are saying you are doing away with betting tax. Now, the income tax amendment law Act 1094, which came in to amend our income tax law, introduced two things: tax on lottery, tax on betting, tax on gross gaming revenues. 20% on gross gaming revenues, 10% on withholding tax on betting, and 10% withholding tax on lottery gains. Now you come to promise the good people of Ghana that, Mr. Speaker, we are abolishing the 10% withholding tax on lottery winnings, also known as betting tax. Basically, that statement is of dubious nature.
You find it ambiguous?
I find it ambiguous, and I'll come to justify why. If you go to paragraph 6 of his statement, he listed a number of things that are to be amended. If you want to abolish that, then you have to go and amend the income tax law.
Yes.
But it has not been stated as part of the things they want to amend. How are you going to do it? So if you come and tell the good people...
But you know, you know what the position of the NDC has been.
I agree.
As far as this
their position on COVID-19 was to do away. They didn't tell us they were going to do rationalization of that. So
yes.
People's position can change.
Yes, that's fine.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't tell me go what the NDC position on matter is. Okay. COVID-19, their position was that we are doing away with COVID-19 levy.
Right.
In clear, unambiguous.
I'm only asking about the issue you raised about the ambiguity surrounding.
I'm saying the ambiguity first in the statement you have stated.
Yes, and I'm saying
you are referring to two things.
Yes.
Which of them?
No, I'm saying that the ambiguity as to whether it's going to be 10% on lottery earnings or 10% on betting tax, on betting.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, yes, you can argue that the statement as was made by the finance minister, you can argue was not that clear. But I'm saying that if you put that within the context of what the position of the NDC has been in the past, then we can move on.
No.
You don't think so?
So the question is,
yes,
you need to tell the good people. I cannot assume that what is referring to is the betting tax as was being imposed on people operating under the Ghana Gaming Commission.
Okay.
I cannot assume because if I were even going to give him the benefit of that, I would have looked at the tax, the laws he want to amend.
Okay.
If I find the relevant law there, I'll say, okay, this is what he's referring to.
Oh, I get it now.
But it's not even there.
I get
that
it.
is one. So you cannot impose or review tax without asking for an amendment to some provision. And in paragraph 6 of his statement, he mentioned those things he wanted to review. It did not include the betting tax law,
which is contained in the
income tax amendment
act.
Right. So that is the first thing. Two, this statement by the finance minister being taken out of context, and people, this is the finance minister, by former finance minister, is the finance minister who should be explaining to good people of Ghana. When I said I'm going to remove 10% withholding tax on lottery winnings, does that mean those regulated under the NLA? If that's what you mean by betting tax, then the answer by the former finance minister is that we were not even taxing it. That's the answer he's giving.
But you see, Amin Adam, Dr. Amin Adam, was very explicit. He was very clear.
Yes.
He said, we're not implementing as a country. In fact, the President Akufo-Addo administration never implemented a betting tax. It was very clear.
No, this is what he said. He was very careful with Joseph. He said that betting tax
was not even implemented.
Good. That betting tax. So if someone used it, that's what I'm saying. Use it. Look, Ghanaians, we are so much in a hurry to run to town with people tips without even analyzing each and every specific word of the minister or the former minister used. He said that betting tax was not even implemented.
But why couldn't he have said that lottery tax?
No, because the statement, he's referring to someone's statement. I'm not going to put words into your own statement and interpret the way I want.
Okay, so he's referring to what the finance minister has said. It's not been implemented.
It's not been implemented because you are telling us that you are going to abolish.
But you're saying the finance minister's statement, it's not clear.
No.
So what is it responding
to? I'm saying that the finance minister's statement stated that we are going to abolish 10% withholding tax on any lottery winnings.
I'll read it.
Yeah, paragraph.
Yeah, but you are going.
Yeah, on lottery winnings, also known as betting tax.
Yes.
And the former finance minister is telling you that if what you are referring to as lottery tax, betting tax, is the lottery win, then we are not even implementing that. That you are referring to as betting tax, we are not implementing it. which is a matter of fact that the government never implemented that component of the tax. Right? So when the finance minister says that, it is for the, when the former finance minister says that, it's for the finance minister to come and tell her, look, the good people, what I meant by this statement was to the fact that I am abolishing 10% withholding tax, 10% withholding on earnings from betting, regulated under the Ghana Gaming Commission. Right? There is also another component of 20% tax on that. That one was not taxed. My understanding is that that is staying. There's another 10% on lottery that is staying. But which of them is he reviewing? He has to explain to the good people of Ghana. And what you presented to the good people of Ghana as constituting the betting tax, the government is the former finance minister is telling you that it was not implemented ab initio. So there's no burden taken out of the Ghanaian people. That he also mentioned about the fact that there's 1%.
So we have programmed, let me just read this. We have programmed the following taxes for removal in line with our manifesto promise. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% tax on winning from lottery.
Yes.
So I totally agree with you.
Yes.
Because that hasn't been implemented yet. Okay. Now, the government will also eliminate the 10% withholding tax on betting. 10%. So you see, he said two things.
Yes.
Do you get it? So the first one is that...
I don't know where you are reading from.
Oh, I'm reading it from, directly from...
I'm not sure what you're reading from. Yeah. Page what?
So I'm reading from my Joe Online.
No,
because I don't want to trace the entire thing.
I will send you the statement.
And it's a quote.
No, don't do. I will send you the statement.
Okay, let me go back to the statement.
The statement will help you, not what someone is reported to have said.
Okay. Let me go back to the statement. But because you see, we need to bring clarity on this matter.
I can help you with the statement. This is the statement.
No, that particular portion.
That particular portion, and I can give it to you to read.
Good.
I can give it to you to read for the purpose of.
In fact, Annie has just sent me that particular.
You can read paragraph 141.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Don't worry. I'm opening what Annie has just sent to me too, so that we can.
You said, Mr. Speaker, I will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, otherwise known as betting tax.
Yes.
2, we will abolish the electronic transfer levy, into brackets e-levy of 1%. 3, we will abolish the emission levy on industry and vehicle. 4, we will abolish the VAT on motor vehicles.
Page 20. No, it's a page.
I said paragraph 141, page 41.
Okay, page 41. Good.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
So we would 5, we would abolish the 1.5 withholding tax on winnings of unprocessed gold by small-scale miners. These were the taxes the president was removing through the finance minister.
And what do you exactly find? Good. So here we are, 141. Yes. Thank you very much, Annie, for this. We would abolish 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, otherwise known as the betting tax.
Yes. So our point is that if what you are referring to as the betting tax is the winnings on lotteries, then that tax was not even implemented ab initio. So that is a statement by the finance minister. But you see, this attitude of Ghanaians, when someone says something and you go and take tips, Obwadi said this person said this person said this, you lose the argument, because when you are faced with the document, you have no other conclusion but to come to the conclusion that the former finance minister reached. Now, let's even move away.
I think the finance minister would have to come clean.
No. Let me finish my point.
I'll bring you in. I'll bring you in.
No.
I want him to learn so that I can bring you in. But I get it. I know what.
And even in my presentation, you admit that there are questions, there are interruptions.
Listen.
You had on a fact.
Listen.
Yes.
The minister says that lottery tax,
yes,
which is
also known as betting tax.
Yeah. Is that not clear enough?
Good. It is clear. If that understanding we are having, we are telling you
that
was not implemented. That's the point we are making. That if it is clear,
what is referring to is the betting tax.
Good. And I was saying that was not.
The reason why I understand you.
But why are we reducing all of this to?
No, it's important.
Because they want to impute something the finance minister said. And I'm happy.
This betting tax thing was a big deal in the lead up to the elections, and so we ought to be very clear.
He says, "What I mean, the minister is what I mean
betting tax
is betting tax."
Yes, but why
all this rigmarole?
No, that in itself is a little problematic.
How is it problematic?
Let me see, because there is a 10% tax on lottery separate from the betting tax. The two are not the same. Now, the 10% tax on lottery, it's not been implemented because you see the NLA the chaps, the stakeholders who work in NLE, have said that, look, those of us who are stakeholders in this industry are compelled by our regulator or are compelled by the nature of the business we're doing to embark on what they call good causes. More or less like a CSR, corporate social responsibility. They are supposed to be building toilets and doing all kinds of things for people. And so if you charge or slap a tax on our operations, you make it difficult for us to embark on some of these CSRs. The betting guys don't have that. They do not have that kind of imposition. You know, they are not obliged to embark on any of these CSRs. And so they are at liberty to do it or not to do it. And so if you charge them 10% on betting tax, they'll understand. They don't have a problem with that. But the lottery guys are saying they have a problem with that. And that is why, and it is this back and forth that has put the 10% charge on lottery wins on hold. So it is important that we put it in the proper context. Otherwise, people will get confused. But I'm saying that the wording of that particular statement in itself lends itself to some kind of ambiguity. And I get where the Dr. Kabiru is coming from. So maybe the finance minister would have to go back and look at the wording of that statement.
Yeah, so and tell us what is referring.
That's the point I'm making.
Yes. The two of you. Is this a substantive issue?
It depends on who.
It is.
Look, for the
it's a substantive issue because
it's a big deal.
It goes to the heart of a campaign promise. It goes to the heart of our income tax law.
Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt that the betting tax has been abolished? Is there any doubt?
But which of them?
Which of them?
That's the problem.
Betting tax.
Which no?
The of them. Because from the statement of the finance minister, you cannot determine that. That's the point.
I know the same. Remember, lottery is being administered or regulated by the NLE.
So the two of you actually believe that the betting tax has not been abolished.
We are
are you saying
no? Based on the NDC's campaign promise, I have no doubt that the finance minister was referring to the betting tax. But I'm saying that the wording, the way it was couched,
so
is
if
where
there
the
is
problem
no doubt, why?
No. There is doubt because two events make me doubt that.
Okay, the amendments.
One, there's no corresponding amendment.
Yes.
And if you contemplate to do something, you reflect on the relevant amendments to make it justified. That's one.
A fact, yes.
Two, there is also the belief that if this promise is what we are thinking, there's no need to do any amendment because it's not even implemented in a way.
So Kabiru, let me also ask you.
That's one.
Kabiru,
Three.
I want us to move on. Let me ask you this. I beg you. Let me ask you this.
What has not been implemented?
No, the 10% tax on lottery. But here's the thing.
The betting tax has not been implemented.
That's
You're confusing.
You are shuffling.
But the point I'm trying to make is this, Dr. Kabiru. If Dr. Amin Adam is not clear.
I am not confused at all.
That's fine.
I have no confusion in my
I'll come back to you. But if Dr. Amin Adam is not clear whether the finance minister was referring to the 10% tax on winnings, is it, you call it the winnings after lottery, whatever it is, or 10% on betting. Yeah. Why does he then proceed?
No. I mean, Ante is clear on what he's referring to.
How can it be clear? Because
it's
you are even saying
let me tell you why it's clear. The ambiguity is coming because the government is pushing that they have abolished betting
10%
tax.
on betting.
And we are telling you your statement is not saying that. Your statement is saying that you are abolishing 10% on lottery winnings. That's what your statement is. And we are saying that if that is what you are referring as betting tax, then you've not done anything because it was not already implemented. There's no ambiguity as to the position of the minority and the statement because the statement clearly tells us what they want to do. So now, if the finance minister wants to come back and tell us that, look, I made a mistake. I was conflating betting tax with lottery tax and that I didn't get the decision quite well. For the purpose of clarity, I am abolishing the 10% withholding tax on winnings from betting activities or game of chance. Okay. That will be clear enough for everyone. We then agree that, well, this was an issue, you have abolished it. Okay. And then we then refer him to the corresponding amendment he has to do in the law to make it effective. That is the point. Okay. Now, the minister also talked about 1%, reducing 1.5% withholding tax on small-scale miners. That is good. The point is whether or not the issue about Galamsey, which is actually largely attributed by these small-scale miners, whether it is an incentive or a disincentive, it's for the government to determine, because economic policy is for government to determine. But I think that the downside of it is, why will you tax an economy that actually supported your growth?